I love how I've been seeing people comparing the bullying of Okarun to Kinta and how he hasn't received any bullying to our knowledge. Like, why did they all just pick on Okarun when Kinta was right here? And I think it drives from the concept of bullying or the purpose that people get out of it. Kinta is very much someone who is shameless. There's nothing wrong with it, but he's very eligible as personality, of course. We see him singing the Gundam song on his way to school. But he obviously stops when he sees other people, signifying that he's aware of how he might seem to others, essentially making him a background character. And this was obviously established in last week's episode, where we find out that he was in the parts in season 1, but we didn't see him because he simply doesn't exist. Obviously not literally, but to the characters he is non-existent, whereas Okarun is someone who's been quiet throughout his whole childhood. He's repressed himself from others, obviously. Yet, unlike Kinta, he gets picked on nearly every day. And I view this as a sort of philosophy behind bullying or a bully's perspective. Now, I'm not sure if it's something that I was just told in my childhood, but I was raised knowing that bullies only bully others if they're getting some sort of satisfaction out of it. And when I say satisfaction, I'm referring to some sort of reaction. Okarun's obviously a quiet kid in the back of class, scrawny, reading his magazines, and whilst he does stay quite reserved, the bullies clearly get some sort of reaction from him, because they know that he is obviously clearly embarrassed by this. Not embarrassed to the point that he's going to hide it from everyone, but embarrassed that he doesn't want to be made fun of for it. Whereas Kinta is shameless, as I said before. I've not read the manga, so this obviously could be different, but I believe that if Kinta has been bullied before, he's probably just not cared about it. We know that he does have the desire to seek out attention and find ladies, friends, but he'd probably act nonchalant in a sense to avoid people's reactions, which would reduce the bullying he receives. Whereas Okarun's bullies probably see him as setting himself up. He's knowingly staying reserved, hiding away from others, keeping to himself, and that immediately makes him their prey. Kinta is literally Okarun, but if he was a background character. Not in terms of personality, but in terms of their stance and placement in the school. They're both two nerds who face a lot of loneliness and have bravery. Yet obviously one wants to avoid contact from others, keeping to himself. And whilst the other thinks the same, he wants to make friends himself and has that as a priority.